All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are live and we're going to be breaking down my three-piece system to profit from the stock market using the power of options. Okay, even when stocks are falling, that's the key here. And I'm excited to be with you today. I'm your host, Jason Brown. I'm a stock market coach and an options trader. And good to see some of you guys in here. I see we got Roscoe from Washington, James from ATL, Shar from Detroit, which is where I'm at. I'm in the suburbs, but I'm from Detroit. San Diego is in the building. So awesome. Welcome. Feel free to let us know where you're from and type that in the chat box, no matter where you're watching from. It's always good to know where people are checking in from. So listen, I know your time is valuable, so I want to get straight into sharing this information with you tonight. I'm going to again be walking you through my three-piece system to profit from the stock market using the power of options, which I believe everybody should know how to trade if they want to be successful in the stock market, especially when stocks are falling. Okay. And I'm going to be breaking that all down, how it all works. And trust me when I say this is going to be life-changing information that we're going to be sharing with you today. So let's get into it. So this is my signature system. So if you're not familiar with my system, I call it the three-piece system. All right. And so that means we call it power charts, power trades, power profits. And that's the three-piece system. I'm going to be breaking down each P in the three-piece system and showing you exactly how I get those insane returns. So if you saw the videos where I'm up $380,000 in 6 months, or you see the 50%, 100% returns, I'm going to show you exactly how I get those using my three-piece system. Okay. And we're going to walk you through each step of it, which is so exciting. All right. Now, here's the thing. Here's my phone right here. I shut it off. I put it on do not disturb. Do me a favor. Put your phone on do not disturb. Shut off any distractions. If you got, YouTube, Facebook, any of that stuff open separately from what we're doing, be sure to close that out so that you can get all this information, and also so that it doesn't take any of your bandwidth. All right. Because sometimes when you are have other windows open, it's going to take from your internet connection, so to speak. And then you're going to be saying, oh, I can't hear you or something like that. So make sure you shut off any distractions and get this information for the next hour and 15 minutes. The other thing is be sure to participate. So if I ask a question, please type it in the box. It's just going to make this experience much more fun and enjoyable. It's going to make it a lot more live and interactive. And I have Michaela with me. We're going to be taking your questions as well. So if you got questions, feel free to type them in the box and we'll be sure to answer them either throughout, or we'll be sure to answer them at the end of some interesting stuff about the stock market and how it works. So feel free to grab a pen, take some notes, and make sure you have a place that you can reference those notes. All right. So let's talk about who the right person is for this webinar. You're in the right place if you want to develop a game plan for generating consistent, that's the word, consistent income from the stock market, even if you have less than $1,000 to start with. If you know anything about my story, I started with $500. Okay. So even if you don't have a lot of money, because people think they got to have a big bank account to get started in this industry. Not true. All right. You're in the right place if you're looking for a game plan to confidently grow your account while working a full-time job without day trading or sitting in front of a computer all day. I started in this industry when I was working a full-time job, and I didn't have the ability to sit in front of a computer all day. So if you don't either, then good. You're in the right place. This isn't something that you have to be in front of a computer for, day in, day out. Or if you work a job, you're like, how am I going to do this? I'm going to show you my secrets and how I make it work without being in front of the computer all day, because it's all about building a lifestyle, not necessarily sitting in front of a computer all day. And then you're in the right place if you want to discover how to protect your investment account from a major loss, even if you've lost big money in the past. So some people make the money and then they lose it or give it all back. I want to show you how to protect your account once we help you grow it, and so that you don't give all your profits back. I know that was my story in the beginning. I made a lot of money. I lost a lot of money. And then I made it back, and I started saying, how do I protect this money so that I don't ever go back to where I was at before I got involved in this industry? So I'm always looking at how to protect my profits. Okay. And then you're in the right place if you want to learn the strategies to generate money in any market condition, even from falling stocks. That's going to be my favorite part to share with you. Most people only know how to make money if the market's going up. But you may not know that you can make money even when the market is going down. And I'm going to share that with you today, exactly how that works. It's one of my favorite strategies here. All right. Now let's talk about who this is not for, just so that we make sure the wrong people, if you're not the right people, you can, go on about your day. So if you are looking for a way to get rich quick without learning this industry, this is not for you. Okay. So you will have to put in some work. You will have to study. If you are lazy and you're not willing to put in the work to actively manage your own money for greater profits, okay, specifically putting in about 2 hours a week. If you're not willing to do that, this is not for you. This is not something that we're in the end. We're going to tell you we can manage your money for you. We're not an investment bank or anything like that. So this is for people who are going to look in the mirror and say, I believe I can do this with the proper guidance, and I'm willing to at least put in 2 hours a week. So if you're not willing to do that, feel free to log off, because this will not be for you. If you're not willing to take calculated risk, this is also not for you. So there is no way really to make money in the stock market without taking calculated risk. I like to say, every time you get in a car and you drive somewhere, you're taking a calculated risk. You believe that you're going to get to your destination, but there's a 10% chance, a 5% chance that somebody might run into you. Somebody might be texting and driving. Somebody might be distracted. So it's not 100% guaranteed. So it's the same thing with this. Okay. You're going to be taking a calculated risk. I'm going to show you how 70, 80, 90% of the time, and those are rough percentages, that you can be right in the stock market. And then there's a 10, 20, 30% chance that you're going to be wrong. All right. But if you're not willing to play the ratio and take a calculated risk, this is a seminar about the stock market. So this would not be for you. And then if you get upset or offended when someone like myself gives 60+ minutes of free content and makes an offer at the end, this is not for you, because I will be sharing with you how you can join my program at the end. I will be sharing with you how you can go deeper with your learning and join our community inside of Power Trades University, where our members are starting to see phenomenal results. So that will be happening at the end. So if you're a person that gets upset by that, then feel free to log off right now, because this is not for you, because that's what's going to be happening, right? So here's what you'll learn by hanging out with me here today. I'm going to walk you through the 3 most important stock trends to spot so that you can get in, and keyword here, stay in winning trades longer and exit losing trades faster. Okay. Most people don't know how to determine when it's time to get out of a trade. And so they watch their account go up and then they watch it go all the way back down. So that's what I'm going to be talking to you about, the 3 most important stock trends that you need to understand how to spot. I'm also going to walk you through 2 of my favorite, that's right, 2 of my favorite ninja, like karate chop ninja strategies every investor should know, so that you can supercharge your earning potential in good markets, as well as have a strategy to profit in down markets. And here's the key. If you're a stock trader and you don't know how to trade options, you're leaving money on the table. And I'm going to show you why here in a moment. And then I'm going to walk you through my signature 3-piece system for picking profitable stock trades in less than 2 hours, regardless if the market is up or down. And this is exactly what we do every week for 2 hours live with our members. I walk them through my system and we look for profitable stock and option trades in about 2 hours. Okay. And here's 2 fun rewards that you're going to get for hanging out all the way to the end. I'm going to show you how to get my Foundations of Stock Trading course for free. I'm also going to show you how to get my Options Explained trading course for absolutely free. So I got a great offer for you. So make sure you stick around to the end. All right. So let's get into it. How many of us have one of these? So if you can see my camera, I'm holding up a cell phone. How many of us have one of these? How many of us have Twitter, Facebook, Google, Wi-Fi with a cable company or something like that at home? Just type me in the box, right? If you have one of these, so interact with me, just type the word me in the box, no matter where you're watching this at. If you have any of these products, cell phone, Facebook, a Twitter, done some shopping on Google, you have Wi-Fi at home, all right? Just type the word me. So Char Walton says me. Over here on YouTube, we got Ravy says me. Rothy, we got J.K. Robinson. So awesome. And then we got some people on Facebook. Same thing, saying me. So perfect, right? LaRonda Lewis, Mark Pilgrim, all saying me. All right. So here's the thing. I also like to follow that question up by saying, how many of us own the stock of these companies? Okay. So everyone raises their hand when I say how many people are using Apple products, Android products, or a Google phone or internet, Wi-Fi. But then when I say how many of you actually own the stock, not as many hands go up, right? About 90% say not me. Okay. So a few people say me, but most people say not me. And here's the thing. Here's what I want to explain to you. If you didn't know this, you were already involved in the stock market. Okay. You're just involved. There's two sides to being involved from the consumer side and the investor side. And just think about it like this. You got 2 feet, you use it to walk, right? Most people have both of their feet planted on the consumer side, which means they spend money, they use these products, they tell people about these products, they get the new version when these products come out. And to you people, we want to say thank you, because you're the reason that the company's value goes up and that the stock price increases. But what I want you to do by the end of this webinar, we'll always be a consumer unless we're Amish and living on a farm or something. No disrespect to the Amish people, but I'm just saying the rest of us will always be on the consumer side using electricity, gas, technology, internet, etc. What I want you to do is be able to take one of your feet out of the consumer side and plant one of your feet on the investment side and start to learn how can you make money from this stuff. It blows my mind that people are skeptical about how the stock market works when they're the same people driving the stock price up, because you're buying the Nike shoes, you're buying the iPhones, you're buying the Googles, you're shopping on Amazon. Yet when it comes to owning some Amazon or learning how to capitalize on it, that part makes you nervous, or you're not playing in that arena. So we're going to show you how to confidently get into that arena today. So let's go back to the year 2001, because that's roughly when this thing all started for me. Like many of you, I was just trying to figure this thing out. In fact, I was trying to figure out how to not work weekends. So if you don't know my story, I was working for Sprint PCS. I worked for Verizon. I worked for Comcast. But back in the day when I worked for Sprint PCS, I was the guy inside of Best Buy. I was the guy inside of Comp USA, Costco, Sam's Club. I was that guy that when you walk past, I'm like, who do you have for your cell phone provider? And that was my job. It was to try to get you to switch over to Sprint, or when I worked for Verizon, get you to switch over to Verizon. And I was just trying to figure out how to not work weekends. I was deep in debt. I was a college student. I had a bunch of stuff that I thought made me look like I had money, but I really had no money, right? I had a car with a car note. I was in debt. Not that everybody has a car note is in debt, but I had a car that I couldn't afford, but I wanted to look sweet, if you know what I mean. I had the shoes, the $200, $300 sweaters, all the stuff that made me look like I had money, but I was really broke and in debt. And I was just trying to figure out how not to work weekends. I probably could have figured it out by not shopping, but that's a whole nother story. So that was me. And so somebody told me, look, you just got to put your head down. You got to work hard. And I felt like they had, later on, I look back and I'm like, I don't know if they was telling me the truth. I feel like they had their fingers crossed behind their back, because I started working hard. And so most people's definition of working hard is what? Most people's definition of working hard is Well, get a second job. All right. And so I did that. I got a second job. And so not only am I in Best Buy, I think I was working at Mervyn's, California on the weekend. I mean, I had like two jobs, and I realized that two jobs are for two people. Okay. And my mentor once said something to me that really opened my eyes. He said, if the first job didn't get you the lifestyle that you wanted, why would you get a second one? And I was like, that's a good point. Like, I didn't really have an answer to that because nobody had ever asked me a smart question like that, right? And so he said, two jobs are for two people, right? So I'm like, okay, so what do I do? So do you know anybody like that, right? Just type a 1 in the chat box. Do you know anybody like that who works hard and still can't get ahead? Because people tell you that working hard is an essential ingredient to getting ahead. But do you know anybody that has a full-time job, a regular job, a part-time hustle on the side, right? Or they do physical labor. They're working hard, but they still can't get ahead financially, right? So LaRonda Lewis knows what I'm talking about. So people, I'm sorry, this name popped up. It just says, dude, I got that on eBay. That's so funny as a username, but all right. But that person knows what I'm talking about. All right. So, I know people who, work hard, but still can't get ahead in life. And so, I would challenge that working hard is not an essential ingredient in getting ahead. And so I thought, all right, let's do what the next essential ingredient that most people teach was what? Climb the corporate ladder. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to climb the corporate ladder. I got my degree, bachelor's in finance. I started off as a sales rep. Then I was like an account executive. Then I went up to regional manager, and I was running 3 different sales divisions for Comcast. Throughout Michigan, I was running 3 different sales divisions. And here's what I found out. I was just trading time for dollars, man. I was like at the top of this corporate ladder, and it was leaning up against a cuckoo clock because I was just overworked and underpaid. Holler if you hear me, right? So here's the thing. If you don't know this about salary, here's what I found out about salary. So most people get pumped up about salary. I actually would prefer to be hourly, to be honest with you, because I found out that salary was the golden handcuffs. And what do I mean by that? It didn't matter how much I worked or how hard I worked. I would never make any more money than what I agreed upon when I first took that 6-figure salary. And then when I took the salary, I was working like 10 hours, 12 hours. I was working 7 days a week, and there was like no overtime. There was like no bonuses. I mean, there was commission, but like there was nothing hourly that was changing because I had already agreed this is what I'm willing to work for hourly. And so when you divide that up and you think about how many hours I was working, it wasn't that glorious when I'm like, yeah, I make 6 figures. Like, it wasn't that glorious. You know what I'm saying? Like when you divide it up, how much I'm getting paid per hour based on how many hours I'm working, it wasn't as exciting anymore. All right. And so I knew there had to be more to life than trading time for dollars. And let me be very, very clear here. I want to be very clear. I am not poo-pooing jobs. People work for our company. I worked for a great company. I enjoyed my time at those companies. When I needed a job, they provided a great opportunity for me to pay for my school. I took advantage of tuition reimbursement from Verizon. I took advantage of 401k when I was at Comcast. And it allowed me to keep a roof over my head and take care of my family. So I'm not poo-pooing jobs. What I am saying, because there's teachers, doctors, lawyers, we need them all. Okay, get sick, and I'm hoping not every doctor is a stock trader because I need somebody to operate on me. Am I making sense? And I hope every teacher isn't a stock trader because I need somebody teaching the kids, or at least I need them to be walking in their passion if they do decide to come over here and make some money with us. But my point is that the job was just designed to take care of my family. It was, or take care of me, take care of my family, etc. But it wasn't designed to get me wealthy. And that's the key difference, right? So jobs are not a bad thing. But no one woke up and said, I'm going to be wealthy, so I'm going to get a job, or I'm going to become a millionaire, so I'm going to get a job, right? So those are the correlations that don't add up, right? And so when we talk about generating wealth, having time freedom, working from anywhere in the world, that typically doesn't correlate with climbing the corporate ladder. So that's all I'm trying to say about jobs. But I want to be very clear that I'm not knocking jobs. I think they're important. That's how I raised my initial capital to get into the stock market. All right. And so I started to think to myself, there has to be a better way. And so I was like, what if what they taught me was wrong? Like, what if it wasn't about me working hard for my money? What if they had it backwards? What if my money was actually supposed to work hard for me? And here's the thing. This is the stuff that your parents aren't teaching you. This is the stuff that they're not teaching you in school. They're teaching you grow up, get a job, work hard, but they're not necessarily talking about how your money can work hard for you. And so what I want to do is take what most people have told you. I want to flip it upside down. I want you to work smart, not hard. I want your money to work hard for you instead of you working hard for it. And by the time I'm done, you're going to see how that's possible. Okay. Now, back in 2003, when I figured out how this worked, or I started dabbling in this, I took a $10,000 student loan and I grew it to an over six-figure trading account. So you can see that there. That was back in 2003. So I was like 20, I don't know, 21, 22, something like that. And then I had made over six figures not working, right, from my little side business, which was trading stocks and options. And so I thought, man, I'm making more money not working by taking these calculated risks. And that's when I became obsessed. And so I started researching investing. I started researching the strategies. I started diving more into this industry because I knew at that time that I would be doing this for the rest of my life. I knew it. I felt it. I've always wanted to have my money work for me. I just take so much pride in looking at a stock chart, figuring out where it's going, taking a calculated risk and seeing it pay off. That just supercharges me. I get so excited. And so I become obsessed with this stuff. And then today, the lifestyle is very different. All right. I'm not working weekends anymore. I say I don't work a job because I don't, but I work for you guys in a sense, right? I work for my members that are inside of Power Trades University because I like teaching and training and coaching this stuff and helping other people experience the same financial freedom. So I don't work a job per se, but I do work in the business doing webinars like this, opening people's mind up to the possibility. You can see to the left there, I've been skydiving and still do go skydiving from time to time. Me and my best friend Zoe down there, we are both certified scuba divers up to 125 feet. So me and him, we go scuba diving. In fact, he was just in town for our baby shower, which you'll see on the right. We bought a house on the lake. So we live in our dream house. And then we had the pink and blue table set up because we actually don't know what sex the baby is. We're going to wait until the delivery room. And actually, that's my mom and brother actually down there to the bottom right, just kind of taking in the view of the lake and of the scenery there. And I always tell people, we finally have a what do they do house. You know what I'm saying? You ever go over somebody's house or a friend's house and they got like a big house or a nice house in a nice neighborhood, and then you kind of ask your friend like, hey, what do they do, right? And so I feel like we finally have a what do they do house. And I'm not sharing that to brag or boast, but I'm sharing that because let's be real, it's a lot of negativity on the news and everything in your life. And there's a lot of people telling you what you can't do. And so I feel so proud to be at a young age controlling my time, to have a what do they do house, to be driving the Jaguar. And I used to look at this, and maybe you're like me. I used to say, why is it that everybody else can live in a nice house? Am I making sense? I used to look and say, how come they get to drive the Mercedes Benz? How come they get to drive the Bentley, the Jaguars, right? Does that make sense? Type yes in the box. You ever look at some people and you're like, why do they get to have some of the finer things in life? Like, why not me? And it's that type of I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but that hunger that led me to start saying, like, how do I make this thing work for me so that I can get on the other side of the tracks and then start to reach back and bring some other people with me, right? So over a decade later, guys, I'm still playing the same game, only better, right? So this is a snapshot of my trades year to date. And Here's the thing. If you saw me on Instagram or YouTube Live or Facebook Live, you saw me talk about in 6 months, right? So that's only 6 months of the year. We generated $382,000 in profits in the stock market. And here's the thing. When I made a 6-figure income, I said this live on the air, and I was like, it would have took me 4 years to make that money working for the company that I was working for. And I just feel so blessed that because I took a risk and learned this industry and took a chance on myself, I was able to buy 4 years of my life back in 6 months. Does that make sense? Like, I could stop doing the stock market. I could stop everything right now, and I still wouldn't have to figure out how to go back to work for 4 years, because I've made 4 years of the salary I would have made if I was still working my full-time job. And so that's what this is about. This is about buying your life back, buying your time back, or continuing to work, but working because you're passionate, working and not worrying about if your boss likes you or not, or if they're going to give you a raise, or if you're going to get fired tomorrow, but you're walking in your passion. I always say, just because you're a school teacher, those people are passionate, doesn't mean you have to live off a school teacher's salary, right? You can teach because you want to, but you can still have the quality of life you want just by adding an additional skill, like learning how to have your money work for you on top of what you're doing for our community, for your church, for your schools, and et cetera, stuff like that. All right. And so my entire life changed literally the moment I decided to take control of my financial future. And as a result, today, I'm financially independent and my family wants for nothing. And here's the thing. We're not financially independent because I just showed you a slide that we made $400,000 just under in 6 months. That's not why we're financially independent. So don't get it confused. We're financially independent because we have the knowledge to generate money when we want. So I could lose the house, I could lose my entire account, but one thing people can't take away from me is the skill of knowing how to open up a stock chart, read it, and determine the best time to buy and sell. And because I have that skill, I am financially independent because I have no concern that I'll ever be able to generate money. People think like, oh, well, what do you do for healthcare and stuff like that? It's like, listen, you don't go ask Jay-Z and Beyonce, what do they do for healthcare? You don't ask Warren Buffett that, okay? Because there's a certain point where you make enough money to where these people can buy a hospital if they needed to, okay, to take care of their health. So I'm saying there's a certain point that you get past that you don't just stay on the job or worry about what you're going to do for healthcare. You become financially independent because you can generate enough cash to weather any storm that comes your way. And that is a powerful position to be in. And so a passion in me erupted for teaching others how to have their money work for them. Being surrounded by my friends, being here in Detroit, just being on the internet, people are always like, well, how are you doing it? How did you learn how to trade? When did you get into that trade? Can you teach me? And so that's when a new passion erupted. I'm like, maybe I'll teach people how to do this, right? And so we started teaching, and I really love that we're opening people's eyes to how the stock market works. Let me just share with you a couple of testimonials from our students, and then we're going to dive into the 3 most important trends that you need to know. And I'm going to share with you those 2 option strategies. And then at the end, I'm going to show you how you can get my 2 best-selling courses for free. But you can see here, following the course's advice, I sold my position yesterday for a little profit. Today, the stock is down 10%. So we teach people the best times to get in and the best times to get out. All right. Here's another one. Based on the techniques that you have introduced me to, I placed my first option trade and sold it for about 100% return. Nothing beats knowledge, right? I love that. The greatest compliment that one of my students can give me is that they have the knowledge to now take care of their family. Now, I blocked off their name because people be trolling on the internet and trying to go look people up and message them. But so results are not typical or guaranteed either. So I'm not guaranteeing you'll have the same results, but I'm guaranteeing you'll have the knowledge to be able to create these type of results. All right. And then Sylvain, one of our members, closed my June call option on LMT, that's Lockheed Martin, for at 3:30 p.m. on April 23rd for a cool 27% profit instead of a catastrophe, right? Love it. So this is inside our members area where people can post charts, talk about what they're trading. And so I just share that with you to say it's not just woe with me. Look at Jason Brown making all this money, but we have been successful in teaching other people how to get involved with this industry and how to do similar things with their accounts. So trust me, if I can do it, so can you, right? And if my students can do it, so can you. There's nothing special about me, just a kid from Detroit who had a burning desire to figure out how this thing worked, okay? And so I'm not a professional, I'm not a licensed broker, nor do I want to be. I don't work for a bank or an investment firm. And even though I may be more experienced than you or have a little bit more money now to invest, just remember, I started my journey where many of you may be at right now. And I had a burning desire to learn what the wealthy knew. I just got tired of hearing about how they drive the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, how their money is making money in the stock market. I was just like, how does this stuff work? All right. And that's what I'm going to share with you. So here's a couple things to keep in mind. Number one, you can manage your own money just as good as you see me doing these air quotes, so-called professionals. All right. You can manage your money just as good. In fact, when I first got started, I took $2,000 to Chase Bank and I said, I wanted to be rich. And they said, so that means you want aggressive funds. And I was like, sure. Those are the only two questions that lady asked me. And she took my $2,000, probably got a commission. I came back a year or two later. They had lost $1,300 of my money. And here's the thing. Here's what I realized. The best $1,300 I ever lost. Why? Because I realized, like, if they can lose $1,300, I'm like, I could have lost my own $1,300. Obviously, you don't know that much more than me. And so some people think like, well, if they lost $1,300, I would have lost the whole $2,000. I don't think like that. I think like if you lost $1,300, I could have lost my own $1,300. Like I came to you because I thought you was a professional. I thought professionals don't lose money. But when I found out they lose money too, I'm thinking, so they don't have a special group of stocks they pick from. And that leads me to number two, we all have the same set of stocks to pick from. You just have to learn how. So Warren Buffett doesn't have a special group he can pick from, right? JP Morgan Chase or whatever your investment bank is, they don't have a special group of stocks, right? Apple is a publicly traded company. If he can buy Apple, I can buy Apple. If Warren Buffett's in Apple, I can be in Apple, right? So you just have to learn how. You just have to learn why they bought Apple, right? And if you can figure that out, you can do exactly what they do and what I do, right? And then procrastination is your enemy. Listen, don't leave a webinar like this and say, that was good, I'm gonna get started one day, somehow, tomorrow, next week, right? Procrastination is the enemy. That's why most people don't lose weight, because they go start tomorrow, they go start next week, they go start next summer, right? And so they just procrastinate, and then they look up a year later and life is still the same, right? The world belongs to those who take action now. So learn and apply these skills now. There'll never be a better time than right now. I once heard a joke that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today, right? So it's like, get started today. That's the only thing that you have control over, not yesterday, today. All right. So I want to connect the dots for you on how it all works and take a complicated subject and make it simple. So if you're ready, type the word ready in the box. If you're ready to rock and roll, type the word ready. So just type it in the box. I just want to make sure you're still out there and ready to rock and roll. All right. LaRonda's ready. Roscoe's ready. Everybody's ready. So perfect. So let's talk about the Greg Allman, Mark, everyone's ready. All right, perfect. So let's talk about the three trends over there on YouTube. Oscar's ready. Christopher Martin's ready. Robert Smith's is ready. Ruthie, AJ, perfect. So let's go. So let's talk about the first trend. So if you're taking notes, this is the first trend that you want to write down, right? So the first way that a stock can trend is up. This is the way that most people are familiar with. They're familiar with buying low, selling high, right? So you're familiar with the uptrend. So let's take a look at a real live example. So here's a chart of a company that all of you should be familiar with because you probably have one of their phones, which is Apple. And so this is an uptrend, right? And so you can see that this stock has been trending up for quite some time. This is just going back to 2004, but they've been trending up for even longer than that. But inside that uptrend, there are good as well as bad times to buy it. So what would be a bad time to buy it in theory? You can see right here when the stock pulls back. You can see right there when it pulls back. You can see right there when it pulls back. And you can see right there when it pulls back. And then right there when it pulls back. Okay, so even though it's in an uptrend, there are good times to buy it and also not so good times to buy it. And here's what most people do. And they wonder why they don't make any money in the stock market. Here's what most people do. Most people buy right here. All right. Most people buy right there. And then after the stock sells off, they come down here and sell. And then the moment they sell, what happens? The stock rallies, okay? And then that's why most people think like the stock market is rigged. And then they say, all right, I'm going to try it one more time. It's then went up, so I'm going to buy right here. And the moment they buy right here, what happened? The stock sells off, and they're like, man, every time I get in, the stock goes down. That's because you haven't been taught how to read a stock chart. You keep buying when it's time to close out your profit, or you don't realize that just when you can't take it anymore, that's really the time buyers come in and buy the stock up and the stock turns around. But if you've never been taught how to read a stock chart, you're just waking up saying, should I buy Apple? Right? And people ask me this all the time. What's a good stock to buy? And I always say, I don't know. I have to look at the chart because even though it's a good company, there are good and bad times to buy the stock. Let me give you another example. Look at Facebook. This is another uptrending chart. And if you look at the trend, look at it. Boom, boom. I'll call this my snake pattern or a channeling pattern, right? And you can see even when it broke out of the pattern, where did it come back down to? Boom, right down to that line, right? So those are the best times to buy the stock if you're looking to buy it. And then if you were to get in, get out, get in, get out, or you could just stay in it long term. But the point is, learning how to read the chart, you can spot when something is A, in an uptrend, and then B, not only is it an uptrend, but when's the best time to buy it inside of that uptrend? And that's exactly what we do with our members every single week. Inside of Power Trades University, we look for these patterns. Okay. Now that's the first trend. The second way that stocks can trend is sideways. Okay. So stocks can trade sideways. Now, what is a sideways trending stock? I always call this like people's grandpa's buy and hold strategy. We do not teach buy and hold, and I'm going to show you why. Take a look at this chart of Ford Motor Company. Okay. And let me turn my drawing tool back on. Back here in 1998, all right, you can see Ford Motor Company trading for $14.23. You come over here to 2015, it's still trading for $14.23. All right. So, trick question. If you put, if somebody told you just buy and hold, it'll be all right. Stocks always go up. If you stay in it for the long term, you'll make money. Can you imagine if you put $10,000 in the Ford and then 17 years later, the stock is at the same price? And if you look at the price today, it's actually lower than what it was in 2015. So you actually lost money. And so now you see the second problem of stock traders is that 17 years later, the stock still has not moved, right? And so can you imagine you put some money away when your child was born and you did the whole set it and forget it. I know by the time they turn 17, 18, I'll have enough money for their college tuition. And then you look up 17 years later, it's time for them to go to college, and you either have the exact same amount or less than when you put in there. That's got to be disheartening. But that's what most people do every day. They contribute to a 401k and they don't know why. They don't know what plan they're in. They don't know anything. I just put some money away and I don't look at it, which is to me the most craziest thing that you can do. You don't just put money away and not look at it. All right. So buy and hold usually results in a loss due to inflation and a loss of time, because can the dollar buy what it used to could buy 17 years ago? No. So you lost money due to inflation. You also were not in the Apples or the Facebooks or the stocks that were going up because somebody just told you put some money away and forget about it. Don't even look at it anymore, right? And unfortunately, that's what most people consider investing, which is not investing. That's just doing something. That's not investing. All right. The third way that most stocks can trend is down. Okay. So stocks can trend down. All right. So we talked about trending up, trending sideways, trending down. This is the one that scares most people. Right. So look at this chart, and maybe you know somebody like this. Maybe it was you, but I see this often, not from our students, not after they take our course, but I do see this from people who haven't taken our course. They'll email us and they'll say, hey, what do you think about a stock like Bed Bath & Beyond? I'm thinking about buying it. And I'm thinking like, well, first you tell me what you think. Why are you thinking about buying it? Because I'm looking at the chart and it's in a downtrend. And they say stuff like the stock fell from, $40 down to $33. It's like, I think it's at a good price. And I'm thinking, why? And they're like, I don't think it's going to go any lower. And I'm looking at the chart. I'm like, it can go lower. It's in the downtrend. So then the stock falls again. And then they say, man, I'm thinking about buying some more shares because it's really on sale now. And I'm thinking, have you read a chart? Because this thing is in a downtrend. And then it's down here to 1950. And they keep saying, I don't think it can fall any further, right? And I'm thinking the whole time, no one's ever taught you how to read a chart, because you should be able to look at this and see this thing is in a downtrend. Why do you keep pouring money into this? Why do you think this is the stock that's going to put your kids through college? It's in the downtrend. And guess what? Most people will keep buying the stock like right here, right here, and right here. And those are the same people you're talking to at work or in your family that says, man, the stock market don't work. I tried that before. Man, that game, don't play that game. It's like, no, you just didn't know what you was doing, right? You buying a downtrending stock thinking it's on sale. All right. But unfortunately, that's how most people invest. So once you learn how to spot these three trends, you can be more comfortable and confident saying, okay, I'm in a stock that's uptrending. Okay, this stock is sideways trending. Maybe I should take my money out and move it somewhere else. Or when the stock is downtrending, I'm actually going to show you, when I get into my 2 option trading secrets, I'm going to show you how you can actually make money from a stock like Bed Bath & Beyond falling, okay, which is really sweet. So most traders, they panic in the down market and they watch their earnings vanish overnight, over weeks, over months, because they don't know when to get out. They don't know what trend they're in. And more importantly, they don't know how to make money from a falling stock. Most people don't even know that you can actually get paid when a stock falls. And that's what I'm going to share with you in a second. And so that's the third problem of most stock traders. They have no strategy to protect their profits, no simple way to profit from a stock falling. All right. They just hold on to it like that little alien is, and they just ride it on down. And then when it gets down there, everybody wants to implement the 2 strategies that never work. And that's hope and praying, right? Because God is neutral on the stock market, because he got 2 people talking to him on both sides of the trade. And then hope has no place in the stock market. Hope and prayer, neither one of those work as a legitimate strategy for making money in the stock market. All right. Now, most traders only know how to make money one way, and that's when the stock is going up. Buy low, sell high. But here's the thing. I just told you that the stock can move in 3 different ways: up, sideways, and down. So little math question for you. If it can move 3 ways and we assign a 33% probability to each way that it can move, that would mean that most traders only have 1 in 3 ways of making money, because the stock can move 2 other ways. So that's a big problem. I want you to think about it like this. All right. You only have a 33% chance of success if you only know how to make money one of the ways, and that's from the stock going up. So think about it like this. Can you imagine if every time you left the house in your car, you only had a 33% chance of reaching your destination? Wouldn't that be like I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but you would be discouraged. That's what I'm trying to say. You'd be discouraged. You'd be scared to leave the house if you only had a 33% chance of making it to your destination. But people come into this industry and they only give their money a 33% chance of being successful. And then they wonder why it doesn't work out. You wonder why most people are discouraged from trading in the stock market, all right? Because they only have a 33% chance of success. And if you got a 33% on the test, it's very simple. That would be a fail, right? You wouldn't pass the test, you'd fail, right? And so what that really means is most people who only know how to trade stocks have a 67% chance of failure. They're flushing their money down the toilet every day, okay? And it's sad. And so that's what makes people get discouraged. And then the fourth problem with most stock traders, and I'm going to give you a solution to this, but if you only trade stocks, most people can't afford the best stocks without breaking the bank. Most people don't have the money to buy the Amazons, the Googles, the Teslas. Most people don't have the money to buy the big boy stocks. And so what do? Most people are left buying penny stocks. And I'm going to give you a secret. If you didn't know this, penny stocks are companies that are about to go out of business. So any stock that's less than $5, here's the secret. The closer that they get to zero, that's right. The closer they get to zero, the closer they are to going out of business. So you're left buying penny stocks. So let me give you an example. I live here in Detroit. All right. This is what your penny stock investment will buy you. All right. So if you're a penny stock trader, this is what you're buying. And most penny stock traders are hoping for things like this. They're like, well, I heard this area was going to get developed and they were going to build a casino right around the corner. It's like, listen, this is like lottery ticket money. You're hoping and praying that they pick this random neighborhood to build a casino and they go come buy all the houses on the blocks and cash you out so that they can tear your house down and build a casino right there. That's typically not what happens. Okay. Now, when you start to learn how to use what we call options, all right, these are the investments that are available for the option trader. This is the houses that are in Birmingham, Royal Oak, Shelby Township, the ritzy neighborhoods here in Michigan, all right? These are the investments that are available for option traders. So how do smart investors do it? You should already have a clue by now. The answers are options, okay? And so I want you to think about it like this. When you build a house, you don't just have a hammer, right? You don't just have a hammer. You need a screwdriver. You need a saw. You need a wrench. You need a shovel if you're going to do something to the landscaping. It's the same thing in the stock market. If you're going to be successful in this, if you only know how to buy low and sell high, then you're coming to the game with just a hammer in your hand. You have no tool for when the market goes sideways. You have no tool for when the market goes down. You have no tool for protecting your account. And so the answer is options. I'm going to walk you through, I told you, 2 of my favorite ninja option strategies. Okay. So the first ninja option strategy is call options, and the second one is put options. So I'm just curious if you've heard of call options before or put options before. Just type the letter C if you have heard of call options, and P if you've heard of put options. All right. So a couple people familiar with it. I see LaRonda. We got LaRonda's familiar with both. Greg, James, Mark. All right. Just going to check over here on YouTube real quick. We got Oscar. He's familiar with calls and puts. My man, Dude, I got that on eBay. Every day is Saturday. Robert Smith. All right. Let me just check Facebook and see here as well. I think there's a little bit of a delay. But all right. So, Nathan Howard on Facebook, Daniel Gamma. All right. So cool. A couple of you are familiar with call and put options. So let me break down exactly how they work and why they're so powerful. All right. So a call option gives you the right to control a stock at a certain price for a certain amount of time. And it allows you to invest in higher price stocks at a fraction of the cost. The third thing is it offers leverage for a small bank account. So when I first got started, I had that small trading account. And even to this day, the reason I'm able to get some of those insane returns is because I'm leveraging my money using options. And so I'm going to give you an example. If you've been on any of my trainings, maybe you heard this before, but maybe you haven't. So I'm going to walk you through this example. I want you to think about it like this. If you've ever bought a house or you're familiar with the house buying process, I want you to think about it like this. When you go buy a house, let's say a house is $200,000, okay? when you go buy a house and you write an offer on the house for $200,000, you don't come to the person with $200,000 in hand. You draw up a contract and you have to leave a earnest money deposit for $1,000. Okay. And so you say, hey, here's $1,000. Hold on to this, or the escrow company is going to hold on to it, which in this case would be your brokerage account. Hold on to this. And you're going to say, hey, for the next 30 days, I want to have the right. This is a key word here. I want to have the right to buy your house. So your house is the stock, right? You have the right to control the house or control the stock for a certain amount of time, which is usually like what, 30 days, right? Like for 30 days until I get an inspection, till I get an appraisal. All right. And then at the end of 30 days, I can either buy the house or I can walk away. And so that's how options work. And so here's what happens. You get an inspection, you get an appraisal, and let's just say your house is worth $210,000. You have a choice at this point. You still have the house under contract, so you quote unquote control the house. So you could go back and put the house on the market or find somebody who actually wants to move into the house. Maybe it's a new family and they like that the fact the school is right around the corner. So you're saying, hey, house is worth $210,000. They're like, great, I'm willing to buy it for $210 because you got an appraisal. You can say, hey, it's worth $210. But the original person was willing to sell it to you for $200,000. But because you got the appraisal and in 30 days the price increased, you have two choices. You can buy the house. You can come up with $200,000 and actually buy the house and then turn around and put it back on the market and sell it for $210,000 and make $10,000. That's one way. That would be actually buying the stock. Or you can trade options. So instead of you actually buying a house, you take that piece of paper that you paid $1,000 for. You take that contract that you paid $1,000 deposit for, and you go to that person and say, hey, you want the house? I want the money. So I'll sell you the contract for $10,000. You can go buy the house for $200,000. So think about it. That person gets the house for $210,000. That's what they wanted, the house. You took $1,000 piece of paper or contract and turned it into $10,000 because you had the right to buy the house and you sold that right to somebody else who actually wanted the house. You just wanted to middleman the deal. If that makes sense, type makes sense in the box. That is what options are. And so instead of coming up with $200,000, you only came up with $1,000 to get into that deal and make $10,000. That is how we're able to take a small account and grow it exponentially. That is the entire secret. Greg Allman says makes sense. Mark Pilgrim says makes sense. That's exactly how it works. Oscar says it makes sense. Ravi says it makes sense. All right, perfect. So just making sure that that makes sense. So that is how call options work. Now, that is how we're able to 10x the return using options. So I love this picture because that is how we break through and get to the other side of financial freedom. If you can take $1,000 and turn it into $10,000, I think you would agree that that is powerful stuff. Okay. And so I see some of the questions coming in. How does time decay factor in? Stuff like that. That's all stuff that we can teach you inside the course. We only got a limited amount of time, but I'm giving you a high level overview of how it works. But stick with me because I'm going to share with you at the end how you can get the course free so that you can understand some of the ins and outs and the nitty gritty of the options. But I just wanted you to understand the power of the call options and understand that it allows you to exponentially increase your profit potential. It allows you to control higher price, higher quality stocks like Google, Tesla, Amazon, and then it offers leverage for growing a small trading account like in that example that I just showed you. All right. Now, understanding put options. I don't have time to go too deep into this, but here's what I want you to understand about put options. It gives you the right to put the stock to someone else at a specific price. It allows you to profit from the fall of a stock. And I'm going to show you a real example in my real account. All right. And it allows you to protect your portfolio and lock in gains. Most people don't have a way to protect their portfolio or a way to lock in their gains after they've made the money. And that's where put options come in at. It's basically the opposite of a call option. You can literally literally force someone to buy your falling stock at a higher price. That's exactly how put options work. And you think, well, why would somebody enter into that contract? Because that person doesn't think they're going to ever have to buy the stock. They're going to make a quick $1,000. You believe, because now you know how to read stock charts, that the stock is going to fall. And so you enter into the contract and you can force them to buy it at a higher price, or you can sell that contract and make money on it. It's really a cool concept. I'm going to show you like a quick example of how I did this real life in my real trading account. And if you know anything about the stock market, stocks actually fall faster than they rise. They actually fall faster than they rise. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that in a second. So here's an example of a put option trade that I did in my account. So you can see this trade costed me $98,000. I'm just going to round that up to $100,000. So that trade cost me about $100,000 that you can see right here. All right. And then when I pulled out of the trade, I pulled $119,000 out. So it was a $21,000 gain, 21% gain from the stock falling. Okay. From the stock falling. And then here's what's even more crazy about that trade. That 20% happened in exactly 9 days. All right. So when you look at the day I bought it, this is June 19th, 2018, not that long ago. Sold it June 28th. You can see that the P right here stands for put option. That was a put option. You can see a put option. That was the company we did it on. I had 100 put options. I bought the put option for $9.95. When the stock fell in price, I sold it for $12. All right. And that's how I made a 20% return in 9 days. All right. And so here's what I want to share with you. I just showed you how you can make money from a stock falling. I just showed you how I literally made 20% in 9 days, not from a stock going up, from a stock falling. And here's what I want you to take away from this, because I'm going to share with you how you can get involved, how you can learn this stuff. I told you I got a special offer for you at the end, so stick with me today. I'm going to share with you how you can get 2 of my most popular courses for free. But here's what I want you to take away from this, okay? Because I mean this respectfully. People, we're on social media, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. Some of you are live on the webinar right now, and you get these trolls or you get these people that come through and they say, well, nobody can make 20% in a month. Nobody's making those type of returns. And here's what I like to tell people. No, you're not making that type of money in a month, okay? You're not making those type of returns. Don't say nobody's doing it, okay? Because I'm doing it right here in my account. Some of our members are doing it in their account. So say you don't know how to get that type of return. You don't know how to make 20% in 9 days. You don't know how to make $21,000 from a stock falling. But don't say nobody's doing it. Say you don't know how to do it, okay? And I get passionate about that, because just because you don't know how to do it doesn't mean nobody's doing it. Am I making sense? And so the thing you should be asking yourself is, how do I learn what they know? Because these people aren't superhuman. They bleed red blood like I bleed red blood. I believe they breathe oxygen like I breathe oxygen. And so the only difference is they know something I don't know. And that's how I was. I was dying to figure out what they knew. How do they do this? These people aren't superhuman. They just know a different game. Their parents didn't teach them work hard. Their parents taught them learn how to have your money work hard for you. And so that's why I'm sharing this stuff with you today. But please don't leave this webinar saying nobody makes those type of returns. I would rather you say, you don't know how to make those type of returns. All right. But people are making those type of returns. All right. And so buying stock is a small piece of the strategy. That's just one small piece of the strategy, buying stock, guys. I'm telling you, the missing piece to your trading puzzle is learning how to strategize with options. It's learning how to trade options. That is the missing piece to your puzzle. And once you figure out how to trade options, I feel like the world opens up for you as far as investing. You don't look at this thing like it's complicated, like it's scary. You look at this thing and you realize you have a game plan for any market condition. So let me talk about the 3 important steps to success, and I'm going to talk to you about how I can help you on that journey. Number 1, if you're taking notes and you're thinking, what's my first step? what do I need to do? You need to learn how to read stock charts so that you can identify the correct trend and pattern. Step 2, you need to determine the best time to buy and sell within that trend for maximum profit, and learn when the trend is over and how to cut your losses, okay? Then step 3, you need to learn how to apply the correct option strategy to maximize your profits while minimizing risk. It doesn't get much more complicated than this. People want to make stuff complicated, but this is as simple as it gets. This is what we do every week with our members. We look at the charts, we identify the trend. Then we determine the best time to buy and sell within that trend. And then we look at the option strategy to maximize profits. That's it. As simple as ABC, 1, 2, 3. All right. Once you learn those 3 steps, success is yours. So let me just do a pulse check. That's what I like to call it. Did you learn something today? All right. If you learned something today, type yes in the box. Did you learn something today? Because if you didn't, I like to joke and say you must be dead from the neck up, which means you're deaf and you're blind, and maybe you can't smell or either, because as long as you can hear me and see me, you had to have learned something from this today. All right. So the yeses are coming in. Just checking over here. The yeses are coming in. Just checking here over here on the YouTubes. Ravy, Christopher, Roti. Cool. Awesome. Glad everybody is learning something. This stuff is making sense. Jamil on the webinar, Greg Almond, Mark Pilgrim, LaRonda Shar. Perfect. So just imagine if we had more time. I saw somebody ask some question about time decay and some of that other stuff. Listen, there's only so much I can teach you in this 1 hour free training. Okay. But just imagine if we had more time, and because we don't, I want to share with you how you can get involved. But before we do that, listen, I just want to talk to you from the heart. I'm not sure why you showed up today. You know, maybe you're frustrated with your investing track record. So maybe you already trade, but you're not getting the type of returns that you thought or you should get. Somebody emailed us today and say, I grew my account with your training from $1 to $500, but they didn't join our coaching program. And it was like, as soon as I got the 500, I lost all the money back. And I'm thinking, you know, I get it. You're probably frustrated with your trading because you didn't engulf yourself into the community. Or it could be that you're looking for an opportunity to provide more for you and your family. Listen, that was me, guys. I got tired of seeing everybody else drive the Mercedes, live in the house of their dreams. I thought, how can I make this happen for me and my family? And even with our child on the way, I think, thank God I don't have to worry about how much vacation time I got or sick time at work or can I take off and all that stuff. I'm going to be here free and being able to be there through the entire childbirth process, as well as when my wife's at home. It's just a beautiful thing, right? And maybe you've heard all the buzz and excitement around how others are having success in the stock market. Maybe you got involved or been hearing about cryptocurrency and how people lost their money with that foolishness. And you're like, well, let me research the real stock market where we can actually value companies. And you want to see how you can make it work for you. Or perhaps you were bored and you just wanted to hang out with me today. And if you did, hey, I'm flattered, right? But I don't think that's why you're here. But here's the thing. Learning how to use options to profit from the stock market can literally transform your life. Having a strategy for up, down, and sideways markets can literally transform your life. And learning how to minimize risk while increasing your profit potential can literally transform your life. Is done for me. And please remember this. Please remember this. Nothing I've shared with you here today is theory or fluff that might work. This is exactly what I've done to grow my own personal multiple six-figure investment accounts. And I've helped thousands of students learn how the market works and begin their journey to see similar results. So none of the stuff is fluff, it's theory. It might work. Let's test it out on some people. No, we're doing this real time right here, right now. And if you needed some reasons why you should learn the stock market, I don't think you do. Everybody has their own reasons, but let me give you a few that I want you to think about, right? You can invest from anywhere in the world. When I looked at buying a franchise and I thought, I can only make money from this street corner. Like I can only make money from the people that drive past the street corner. And then if I go out of town, I got to worry about my employees if they're stealing from me, or if something happens at the restaurant, I got to fly back home. I was like, that's not my thing. Leverage. Your money can work harder for you instead of you working hard for it. Listen, if you don't believe me, here's how I like to explain it to people. My money doesn't get sick. It doesn't take a vacation. It doesn't take sick leave. It doesn't talk back. I don't need to write it up and put it on a performance improvement plan. I don't have to call it into the office and fire it, right? My money just goes out and works. I tell it, go find trades and bring back some more of your friends, okay? It just does what I tell it to do. So it can work way harder for you than you can for it, because you're a human. You only got 24 hours in a day. You still need sleep. You still need water. You still need personal time. You need all that stuff. You can only work so hard for your money. The other thing is it's recession proof. I just showed you how we can make money if the market falls. So people say, oh, you're only doing good because the market's up. I just showed you I made money from a stock falling. So we can make money in a bad market if stocks are selling off. So it's recession proof. And here's the other thing. It's no racism. This is my favorite. There's no racism, no sexism, no ageism, right? I'm young. I'm African American. I did not see a whole lot of people that look like me in this industry. And when I realized that I can just put my money to work, I don't have to worry about none of that isms, racism, no sexism, no matter how young I am, no nothing ism. If I could just log on to my computer, place the trade and make money, they got to pay me, right? It's electronically transferred. I love it, right? And so those are some of the reasons why it's important to learn how this works. So it doesn't matter if you're new to this industry with no experience, if you have a small trading account, if you've lost money in the stock market before, doesn't matter that you didn't go to school for this. That's one of the biggest lies that people tell you. You got to go to school for this. None of that stuff matters. It's all about taking baby steps and taking action and hooking your wagon up to somebody's wagon who's done this before and who knows how to do this. So if there's one thing to take away, is that I've literally cracked the code on how the stock market works, and I could literally show anyone how to have their money work for them. And literally, this is what's changed my world. It's changed how I view money and work, and it's changed the world of my students. And I believe you learning how to make your money work for you can transform your life and your financial future in a way that's unimaginable today. I never imagined I'd be living in a lake house here in Michigan, driving, the dream cars, living in the dream houses, controlling my day throughout the day. I didn't imagine. I didn't imagine it would happen this soon either. It doesn't take 40 years for you to get there. And so this is my signature 3P system. Power trades. We find the trades. We read the charts. We find the charts. We place the trade. We look for the best option strategy. And then we determine the best time to get in and out. Power charts, power trades, power profit. This is my signature 3P system. And I want to share with you how you can go deeper with your learning and how you can get my 2 courses for free. So the obvious question is, how can you apply this system for leveraging the power of the stock market and profiting from? Because we're already doing it. The question is, how can you do it? And you have a choice. You have a choice right now. At least I'm going to give you a choice. You could do it the slow way, and you can leave a webinar like this, and you can go do some more research. You can do trial and error. You can try to take some of what I've given you here today and try to figure it out. But trying to figure it out, if you're wrong and you don't know how it works, it costs money in this industry. Or you can do it the quick way by joining Power Trades University. So what is Power Trades University, right? Many people ask me, including friends, including family, what are you doing? How are you finding these trades? How do you know how to read the charts, et cetera? And so we, about 3 years ago, we said, how can we share this with the masses? And because I didn't want a job. People can you teach me one-on-one, right? Like, that's like a job. I got to sit with you side by side every day. No. And so we thought, how can we put everything under one roof and create a curriculum and a program where I could train people, and then I could show them real time what I'm doing? Because I found some other traders out there, they say they're trading, but they're really not trading real money. They're paper trading or virtual trading. I said, if I ever did this, I was going to show people my real account. And so that's what Power Trades University is. It's my complete step-by-step stocks and options trading group coaching membership program, right? So it's designed to take you by the hand to go from beginner to confident trader. No missing steps, no confusion. It's literally the quickest, most effective way to get from point A to B, to get from where you're at now, not knowing about the stocks and option market, to being up and running and becoming a confident trader. So what exactly is it? Foundations is a 16 lesson stock trading course. Options Explains a 30 lesson option trading course, plus my live weekly group coaching program where I walk you through how to find the best stocks to trade and apply the correct option strategy for maximum leverage. I'm doing this 2 hours every single week with our members live, looking for trades from my real account, sharing it with the members. They get to ask questions. We track everything inside the university, which I'll show you what that looks like in a second here. You got 24/7 instant access and lifetime updates as long as you have an active membership, literally step by step. Nothing is left out. And then you also have a growing community of smart and savvy power traders. That's what we call ourselves at Power Trades University. We call ourselves power traders, and we're here to support and encourage you along the way. And that's one of the most important pieces, because most people go to work on Monday, they go home, and they talk to a spouse or something like that, and they're not involved with the stock market. And so you go to these people and they shoot down your dreams and goals, and you start second guessing yourself. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I'm not smart enough. You start thinking all of this stuff. And the reality is that you're sharing your dreams and goals with the wrong people. Am I making sense? And so you want to be in a community of people that are trading like you, looking at stocks the same way you're looking at, buying and selling the same way that you're buying and selling. And that's going to help you get through it. So the community is key. So inside of Foundations, we teach you the stock market language, how to read stock charts, how to spot trends, the buy and sell signals. We're going to teach you how to do fundamental research so you can find out if a company's valuation is there, how to read the charts, the definitions and terminology. We're also going to help you open your brokerage account. We're also going to help you do something called virtual or paper trading. So we show you how to practice your way to profits before you ever put real money to work. Okay. Inside the options course. Yes. I'm so sorry. I know you're right. Oh, I see it. No, I see it. My screen. Thank you, Michaela. Yep. Thank you. All right. So my screen had popped off, but I was just going through what's inside of Foundation. So thank you. Inside of Options Explain, you get the options definition and terminology. You get the call and put option training. You get my complete option formula. You get my option market strategies. There's a 7-module course on definitions, what other industries use options. We're going to break down stocks versus options so you can see, do I buy the stock or do I buy the option, and which one costs more and which one's more effective. You're going to learn option structure, the option price formula, my free option tools and resources. You're going to understand the different types of calling options, how to read an option chain. I'm going to give you my call option worksheet and checklist. It's literally all there. You got 3 modules on put option. So that put option that I showed you how I made money from the stock falling, that's actually inside the course. In fact, let me make that bigger for you guys. There we go. All right. For the guys on the webinar. All right. The put options as a protection. We're going to give you the put option worksheet and rules, because there are times where you don't want to use those. We're going to give you the control versus ownership strategy. So we talked about that with the housing example. This one right here, my rental income strategy. So people are all into real estate, and I actually just we did a podcast with my buddy Reggie Perriman, who's into real estate here in the Metro Detroit area, and talking about the differences. But I have a rental income strategy that you can use to literally collect the same amount of money you would if you bought like a $50,000 or $100,000 house. You can collect $1,000 to $2,000 of rental income every single month. And I talked to you about that strategy as well inside the course. There's a profit from a market sell-off module, right? When things are going bad, how do you use put options to protect your portfolio? All the strategies and rules, it's all there. And then the group coaching, I can't say enough about this. The training courses by themselves are excellent. We call that the self-study program. You can go buy the courses if you want, and you can just go out on your own and self-study. But what I'm getting ready to offer you is an opportunity to get the courses for free by joining the group coaching program, because this is where the magic happens. 2 hours a week, I'm live. Like we're live right now. I am live walking you through my option trades. I'm walking you through what's going on with the current market. I'm walking you through what stocks we're buying, we're selling, when to get in, when to get out. And we're tracking it all on our trade trackers. You get access to my personal trade trackers. Sometimes people say, well, what's your track record? How are you doing? Well, I only share that with my members. I'm not sharing that with the general public. Traders discussion forum and the community to be in there with other traders. It's all there. So here's what I want you to imagine. Imagine if you could have time and money together, not having to choose which one is more important. If you could give yourself a raise whenever you felt like it, because you just go into the computer and place a new trade. If you could have more time to spend with your friends, your family, your loved ones, okay? If you felt confident that you can control your financial destiny in any market condition for the rest of your life, not trying to worry about if you could afford insurance and all this stuff. You can control your financial destiny because you can plant a money tree in the stock market and go in there and pluck money off whenever you feel like it within reason, okay? Because you learn these skills. So I want you to imagine, because that's what's possible if you take action. So how much will this cost me? All right. You're probably thinking, okay, how much, Jason Brown? I got it. I want you to ask yourself, how much have you already lost not having the strategies for any market condition, right? So if you're already trading and you lost money, how much have you lost? Probably more than what I'm going to tell you the investment is, right? And then maybe you haven't lost money, but you're not participating in this industry and making the money that you could. So we call that opportunity cost, where you didn't really lose anything, but you lost the opportunity, which is sometimes even more pricier than what you actually lost, right? And then, you could go to a bank or look for a financial manager, but you and I both know their fees would be in the $1,000 for weak returns. I'm talking super weak. I took my $2,000 to the bank and they lost $1,300 of it. So I already know what's down the end of that road. Besides, if they could do this, if they could get you the returns that I'm getting, then they would be doing it for themselves, or they only do it for their high net worth clients, the people who have $250,000 up to $1 million in net, $250,000 cash or up to $1 million in net worth. These are the people that they want to work with. They don't want to work with the mom and pop shops, people who got $5,000, $10,000, because that's not how they get paid. They get paid by taking 2%, 3% off the top for their brokerage fee or their management fee. They can't live or eat off 2% off $5,000 or your little $10,000. So they don't even want to talk to you and I, right? And so that leaves us to fend for ourselves. So let's talk about what the program costs. If you wanted to buy Foundations on its own, you can go buy Foundations for $297. If you want to buy Options Explained by itself, go buy it. It's $597. If you want to join coaching by itself, it's $499 to join, and it's $99 a month. So you annualize that, it's $1,588. It's $2,482, and that doesn't even include my advanced option course, which by itself is $997. So it's really about $3,500, right? But obviously, we're not going to ask you to pay that today. Why? Number one, I'm passionate about getting this information out there. Number two, I like removing the excuse for people who say they can't afford it. And so what we put together was a program to say, what if when they join membership, which is where they actually can see me do this stuff live, what if we gave them Foundations? What if we gave them Options Explained? And as they go through the course, they can see me apply this stuff live in real time, as well as have access to the other members who are trading this stuff. And so what we put together is join membership, which is $499, and then it's $99 a month. And we'll throw in Foundations. We'll throw in Options Explained, as long as you have an active $99 a month subscription. And so when you think about it, I like to say, if anybody message me or say they can't afford this, I want to come over your house and I want to look in your closet and see how many designer shoes you got, how many designer purses you got, how many designer sunglasses you got. I want to look at your cable bill that's watching you TV and you're not making no money. I want to look at all that, and I want to add it up and see how much you paid for this stuff that's not making you any money, right? So we put together an affordable package to get involved and start making some money today. And that's not it. We took it a step further. I talked to Michaela and I said, let's sweeten the pot for people who are live whether they're on YouTube or whether they're on Facebook or inside the webinar. We're throwing in these 4 essential bonuses. You're going to get the brokerage account training mini course. We also put in some charting software, so you don't have to go out and buy some additional charting software. We put in some free charting software that you can use so that you can draw those lines on the charts and understand how to read a stock chart, when to buy, when to sell. I'm throwing in my option trading cheat sheet. And then somebody asked me earlier in the comments, how does time affect the options and stuff like that? That's what the Greeks mini course is about. So theta is time decay. So we're going to talk to you about how time decay works, how the delta works, how the beta works, how the gamma and the rho works. We give you that all inside, which could be a separate course by itself, but we actually throw that in for you as well. And here's the thing, for those who act today within the next 10 minutes or before the timer on the sales page hits 0. And Michaela, can you put the link in Facebook and YouTube here on the webinar? Can you add the link below the video and send it out to the members? All right. So when that timer hits 0, then the deal goes away. Okay. But we're also going to throw in my advanced options course, which is $1,000 course. 13 lessons on advanced options, direction and neutral trading strategies, strategies for stocks that release earnings, how to trade over earnings. We're going to be talking about iron condors, butterflies, all that stuff. We're actually still recording the modules for this course, or depending on when you're watching this, maybe it'll be done if we let this become a replay. But we're actually throwing this course in, at least at this time, as a bonus for those who take action. And that's $1,000 course just by itself. All right. And so I'm also giving you what I like to call my show the work guarantee. And we're going to open it up for questions here in a minute, but I call this my 100% satisfaction 30-day guarantee. It's called a show us the work guarantee. So here's the thing. We're not interested in tire kickers. We're not interested in people who think, oh, I'm just going to buy the course, go through all the stuff and then email them and tell them I didn't learn anything. All right. If you knew it all, you wouldn't buy the course in the first place. So to eliminate tire kickers, we call it the show us your work guarantee. So what does that mean? Listen, I'm confident in what I'm doing. I'm doing it with my real account. I'm doing it with our members. So I believe if you go through the training, you follow our steps, you will be a profitable and more confident trader. Here's the thing. If you place 3 trades and you find out this is not for you, we say, show us the work. Send us the 3 trades you place with your real brokerage account. Okay. Show us you followed our system. So we're going to look at the charts on these stocks and the time frame you bought and sell. And we're going to say, that's not what we taught. Or if it is what we taught and it still doesn't work out, we'll give you your money back within 30 days. All right. But here's what I know. You cannot go through the program, follow our trades, follow what we're talking about on Monday, do the training. You can't go through all that and still get it wrong. If you do, then I don't want you in the program, because I don't know how else to teach you if you got the courses and you have a real person doing it, having success, and you just keep doing the opposite. So that's why I can make 100% satisfaction guarantee, because I know if you follow the program, you'll be successful. And if you don't follow the program, you won't be successful. And what does not following the program look like? Oh, I haven't took the trainings. I haven't went through the modules. I'm not showing up for the Monday webinars because you rather watch Game of Thrones or Real Housewives. I can't control that. We don't process refunds for that. All right. So here's the thing. Here's what some of our members have said. Monday's night coaching has paid for itself by 30x. Okay. Monday night's coaching paid for itself 30 times over. All right. Then Nakisha, one of our newer members, I love this. She said, happy to report I completed my first option trade with a 55.6% return in 12 days on RHT. That's the ticker symbol we were trading. Was awesome for me. Thanks, Jason Brown and Sylvain, for calming me down. I took my money and I'm running, right? So awesome stuff to read. And then here's my personal account just in the last 6 months. Just in the last 6 months. And if there's anything I want you to pay attention to, notice how much green is on the chart and notice how much red is on the chart. So do we get every trade right? No, we get some stuff wrong. But it's about being right more times than you are wrong. It's about being right more times than you are wrong. And when we're wrong, we try to cut our loss small. And when we're right more often, and we're right big. Does that make sense? And that's the name of the game. If anybody tells you that they never get it wrong, I would be leery of that person. We do get stuff wrong, but we get it wrong less often, and we're right more often, and we're right big. So just to recap before we go into Q&A, by joining membership, you're going to get our coaching and community. We're going to throw in foundations of stock trading. We're going to throw in the option trading course. Again, as long as you have an active account, you'll have access to those. We're going to throw in the brokerage account training mini course, the charting software, the option trading cheat sheet, the Greeks mini course, and boom, $4.99 and $99 a month. And again, for those who take action, the fast action bonus before the timer hits 0. All right, we're throwing in the advanced option course, which is a $997 course. All right, so let's open it up for Q&A, Michaela. I'm either going to leave it on this slide or leave it on this slide. But let's see, do we have any questions either on the webinar or on any of the other platforms? Because I want you to feel comfortable about joining Power Trades University. And here's the thing about Power Trades University too, while she's getting those questions ready, just type them in the box if you have any. You know, people might think, well, here's a comment I like to address. People say, well, if you're doing so well, why would you teach other people how to do this? And I always think about that comment, and that's like saying, going to McDonald's and say, if y'all selling so many burgers, why would you allow other people to franchise? It's like, well, hello, they want to expand. They want to teach other people this awesome system they found. And yes, they get financially compensated a little bit, but whether you join or not doesn't mean they're going to stop selling burgers. Does that make sense? Same thing with the stock market. Whether you join us on this crusade or not, that didn't stop me from making $380,000 this year in 6 months. And then we still got 6 more months to go. All right, so if we do what we did the first half of this year for the second half, we'll be looking at about $760,000. We'll be staring just under $1 million in the eye, and maybe we'll cross over $1 million. Who knows, right? But that's what we're pacing to do at that point. And if you buy Apple stock, that doesn't affect me buying Apple stock. You don't have enough money to move Apple stock up or down. Does that make sense? And so there's enough in this game for everybody. You don't affect what I do just because you know how it works. And that's the beauty of it. And that's what's different from owning a traditional business, where if I have a store on the corner, I don't want to tell you how I'm marketing. I don't want to tell you how where I'm getting my products from and what price, because you can open up a store across the street and become my competition. But in this industry, we all can get a piece of the pie, and it literally does not affect what I do. And that's what I love about the stock market. I think one question came in: can one join the weekly coaching program only? Absolutely. It's $499 and it's $99 a month to join. So if you don't want all the bonuses, then you can just sign up for the regular price. And you can join the coaching program only for $499 and $99 a month. This is a special where we're actually throwing in the courses. So if you don't want the bonus courses, we can take them out. I'm joking here. But yes, it's still $499 and $99 a month to join our community, because we have a community of serious traders. You also get access to all the replays. Matter of fact, let me bring it over here. I think you guys should be able to see it. Let me see here. Yep. Inside the community, we got a community of serious traders. You got all the courses in here. We have the bullish community forum. This is. Oh, okay. Thank you. Let me switch this over to showing my screen. Thank you. That's why Michaela makes the big bucks. All right. So let me go. Yeah, so I just want to give you guys a preview of the back end. So there's the free charting software. This is where the courses are housed. You also have the bullish community forum. This is where all the traders are talking. Somebody posted about Macy's. Sylvain was that member I told you about. You can see he already just posted. I opened a quick swing trade on Macy's this morning. Thought I would share. He's posting his chart. Barbara, thanks for the tip, got in. And Keisha, that's the other member I told you about. I'm on board. I mean, so this is what's happening. People are sharing their trades, sharing their charts. This is what happens on the inside. So we're just not letting anybody join. So it's, again, it's $4.99 to join if you want to just join the forum. This is actually one of the creme de la creme pieces of the entire program. You also got me doing a live 2-hour webinar every week showing my trades. All right. And so when we go into the coaching replay, literally 2 hours, I'm analyzing FedEx. I'm analyzing the market. You got Michaela, my assistant, who goes in and timestamps every stock we talked about and what time that we talked about it. So literally, there's no excuse if you're like, well, I don't have time. You can go in here and to the 26-minute mark and see what we said about Cisco, see what we said about Microsoft. We also have our trade tracker where we track all of our trades, the date we observed the pattern, when we got in, the ticker symbol. Are we bullish or bearish? What's the analysis? What's the option strike price that we're looking at? When are we getting in and getting out? The updates of the trade, all of that is there. So again, I can't stress enough, like, if you can't be successful with a real trader trading his real money, with the power of the community, with the courses giving you the backbone and the basic understanding of how it works, we literally are laying everything out and creating a premium stock trading forum where everybody has been taught the same way and is coming together and learning together and sharing their trades. I don't know how else to help you become successful if you can't become successful inside this environment, because this is where it's at. We figured out the best way to train people, and that is giving them a foundation of how stocks work, showing them how the options work, and then putting them in an environment where people want to win and can practice, and also showing how I do it in real time. LaRonda says, what time are the trainings on Monday? So the trainings are from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and all the trainings are recorded. And so if for some reason you can't make it live, you can watch the recording, okay? And so let me bring that. I think I just showed the recording. So I'm not going to show it again, but you can watch the recordings if you can't make it live. And you also get access to the trade tracker where we post our trades at as well. So Michaela, make sure you post the link for everybody one more time just to make sure that they have it. What other questions? Did you see any other questions come in related to purchasing before we wrap up that I need to answer?
Rafi from YouTube over here was asking, how do I make sure I get the fast action bonus? So Rafi, great question. Very simple. Click the link that we posted. We're going to post it again. And before the timer runs out, that's how you can partake of all of the bonuses.
That's right. So click the link. All right. I'm going to, Michaela's posting the link again. I'm going to post it. But once the timer on that page hits 0, then the bonuses go away. So that is how you take advantage of it. So Michaela's going to make sure she posts the link, and it should be in your box, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or inside our webinar platform. Any other questions, Michaela, before we wrap up?
Well, we do have a few about trading. For example, someone is asking, how much money do I need to buy my first options contract after I join?
So you can get options contracts for as low as $500. So as long as you come to the table with at least $500 to $1,000, you should be okay. Anything less than that, you're going to have to figure out how to raise capital, because this is definitely an investment game. So you do need money, but it's going to take at least $500 to $1,000 to be able to buy an option contract. So like the trades you saw me do with 20%, if you had $1,000, you would have made $200, for example, on that trade. So that is how it would work out mathematically, so to speak. What other questions are there, Michaela? Anything else we need to answer live before we get ready to wrap this up? Because I appreciate your time. I want to make sure we do get the most common questions in So again, is there any contract or commitment? Nobody asked that, but I'll just answer it. There is no contract, no commitment. If this is not for you or it's not working out, just, cancel at any time. You just stop the $99 a month payments. But if you're making money, if you're learning, I don't know why you would ever quit. We got members that's been in there for about 3 years plus now. And so it just makes sense. Once you're surrounded by people sharing trades and you're making money and you're learning, why would you unplug from the machine, unplug from the system? But there are no contracts. There are no commitments as well. And then again, I'm on there live every Monday for 2 hours, walking you through my personal trades and what we're looking to get into and what we're looking to get out of. So I think I bought the options course. Will we get a list of tickers that are successful to trade? Yes, that's what we go through every Monday for 2 hours. And then we put it on what we call the trade tracker that I showed you. So let me just bring that back over here again. That's the trade tracker. Okay. And so let me switch it on the webinar as well and make sure these guys can see it. That is where we post all of our ticker symbols that we're watching, thinking about trading. I don't want to go too far down because we'll start getting into our current trades, but this is what it looks like. It's all color coded, what it means. Green, we closed profitable. We passed on the trade. We're currently in the trade. We're just watching the trade. We color code this stuff. So it's all here for you. And then again, inside the webinar, Michaela timestamps what we talked about. And so you can see what stocks we talked about at what time, what the analysis was. You can just go watch it in the video. And then we fill out this trade tracker live. And then some of the members, as you can see, they talk about trades that maybe we didn't talk about. They talk about things that they're seeing, like, on Macy's. They see this bounce on Macy's. So I'm not trading that, but some of the members are. So, they're going for it. So there's a lot to be had inside the membership area that will help you become successful, in addition to having access to me for 2 hours live once a week. LaRonda said, is there a point where the course is paid for and you no longer pay $99 a month, or will that be ongoing as long as you're a member? So you're not paying for the course, you're paying for membership to have access to the live weekly trading. You're paying to have access to the membership. If you just want to buy the course outright, again, you can go buy foundations at $297. You can buy options explained at $597, and you can buy advanced options at $997, and you can just own those outright. And then if you want to join coaching, it still will be $499 to join coaching and $99 a month. So we're just throwing the courses in as a bonus. So that's what we're doing. So great question. So if you want to just buy the courses and own them outright, feel free to do so, but that still wouldn't get you into coaching where all the additional magic happens. But great question. I think let's see, what else is there, Michaela? Anything on YouTube or Facebook that we need to address?
Let's see. Someone did ask, can I start with $2,000?
Absolutely. I mean, I started with $500. So you can start with any amount of money that you want to start with. The key is that you keep your expectations in alignment with what you're starting with. So when I started with $500, I only wanted to make $50. What you don't want to do is come into the game with $500 and say, I want to make $10,000 in a week or in a month. That's just not reality. All right. So whatever you start with, you want to keep the amount that you can make in proportion. And that's once you learn this. You might not make any real trades for the first 2 months because you still have to get through the courses and make sure you understand what we're talking about. And then you're seeing us apply it real time, and then you start your practice trading. So it depends on how much time you have to devote to this. But before you ever place the real trade, you're going to want to finish the courses. You're going to want to show up for the live trainings, make sure you understand what's going on, and then you can think about placing your first real trade. So I want to be very clear on that the education comes first. You don't just take $2,000 and jump in and buy the first thing we talk about. You want to make sure you go through the courses, show up live, make sure you understand and ask questions, and then you'll be ready to place your first real trade. But before that, you have to place a practice trade to make sure you get it, and then you can move on to real money. So there is a process. So great question.
Great question. And then Roger asked, is on Facebook, is there time limit on the free foundations membership? So great question. You have access to a foundations course and options explained course and advanced actions course as long as you're active in the monthly $99 a month payment, which is included with group coaching.
Exactly. Like if you just want to buy everything to own it, let me go back. If you just want to buy everything and like own it, then you can come here and buy them separately. $297, $597, and then it's $1,000 for the advanced options course. And then when you're ready for coaching, you can either do annual for $1,588 or you could pay $499 and $99 a month. It's still $499 and $99 a month to join the coaching program. So we're just throwing in the courses included right now, and we're throwing in the advanced options course. All right. So great question. If you just want to buy them outright, feel free to visit, powertradesuniversity.com and pick those up. You could totally do that. We would love for you to give us $3,500. We would not turn that away. Okay. If you just want to buy everything separately, I'm joking if you couldn't tell, but sort of. I mean, yeah, if you want to buy it all separately, be our guest, and then you can own it for life, so to speak. But this is just a special we're doing to allow people to get involved that, we want to remove all the excuses. Once I bought all this stuff, I didn't have any money to invest, right? So we're giving you a reasonable price and a reasonable option to get into the game. All right. Again, if you don't have $499, I'm coming over your house. I'm looking in your closet. I'm looking at your sunglasses, the purses you bought, the gym shoes, the Xbox gaming system that you paid $500 for that's not making you any money. I'm calling you out. I'm coming over your house. If you send us a message saying, I wish I could join, but I can't afford it, because I'm not buying it. You either just didn't see the value in learning how to make your money work for you, and that's okay, because those people aren't our people. But if you're tired of being on the consumer side and want to put one foot in on the investment side, then this is the program for you, and it's at an awesome price. I don't know what else to tell you. So if you got any other questions, I don't want this to go too long. Michaela, we'll do one round of final questions if you see anything we should address. If not, we are going to wrap this up. Then you can always send us an email at info@thebrownreport.com if you have a question that we didn't answer. So, Michaela, can you post the link one more time in all platforms? And then if there's any final questions, I'll answer them. If not, we'll wrap this thing up.
Sure, no problem. Last question, dude, I got that on eBay. Still cracks me up. Asks, is there a cutoff time on the package? Yes. If you click the link, you'll see the countdown timer. So there is a cutoff time for this deal.
Yep. So just click the link. Once you click the link, even if you're not buying, just click the link. You'll see all the detailed information, and you'll see the cutoff time. When that timer hits 0, then it's a wrap. So if you got a good friend that you want to see this webinar, I think we're going to leave it up for a little bit. But once that timer hits 0, then the deal goes away. So if you got a friend that you want to see this or something like that, make sure you tag them or send them the replay or something like that. But once the timer hits 0, yes, the deal will be going away. So, all right, I think that's it. So we are going to wrap this thing up. Thanks for spending some time with me. Listen, I'm excited. I see Raymond join. We see Rothy, I hope I'm saying that right, join. Spencer join. We got a lot more coming in right now. So I'm excited for all the new people. I'm going to hop into the forum, welcome the new people as they get started. And if you have any questions, send us an email and listen. Take control of your financial future. I'll leave you with this. If not you, then who? That's what somebody asked me. If it's not you that's going to take control of your family's financial future, then who? And then they said, if not now, then when? And when I was asked that question, I thought, you're right. If not me, who else is going to do it? I can't depend on my brother, my mother, or they would have already done it, right? So I had to look in the mirror and say, it's on me to take control of my family's future. And then, if not now, then when, right? There's never going to be a good time. People say, well, I'm going to do it next year. I'm going to do it in 6 months when life slows down. Life doesn't slow down. You just make time for what's important to you. And so you have to make time if this is important. So I'll leave you with that. I'll see you on the other side. Have a great day or night, depending on where you are at watching this.